The quickest way to lose your audience is to wander through your talk like you're strolling the aisle at Costco with no list, and you know how that ends. You going for toothpaste, now you're at checkout with throw pillows, 3 candles, a face mask, and a new garbage can with no idea how you got there. Your presentation can't be like that because you will lose your audience. If you've got a talk coming up, I'm going to give you a simple, repeatable framework you can use to make sure your audience stays with you from the first word to that final mic drop. Early in my speaking career, I would load my slides with everything I thought might be important. 10 minutes in, I'm rambling, the point is nowhere to be found, and the audience's eyes are starting to glaze over. However, as I worked on my presentation style and format, I learned that how you structure your talk is just as important as what you say. Once I started following a clear framework, my talks flowed better, and people started getting real results from the information I shared. The first step is to say it. Think of this as the headline on the front page. Before anyone decides to read the full story, they need a headline that grabs attention and tells them exactly what they're about to get. In a presentation, that means stating your main message clearly right up front. For example, if you're a leader presenting Q4 results to senior leadership, don't start with a long preamble about your busy quarter. Instead, you want to say, this quarter, our team exceeded revenue targets by 12% and reduced operational costs by 8%. Here's how we did it and what it means for next quarter. If you're talking about improving team productivity, you might say, today, I'm going to share with you a new plan to improve team productivity without adding extra hours. Think of your next meeting or presentation. What's a single sentence headline you can open with? If it's a project kickoff, you might say, this project will save our customer support team 20 hours a week and cut response time in half. If you're leading a training session, you might say, by the end of this session, you'll know the 3 strategies our top performers use to exceed their sales targets. Okay, now it's time to pause and practice. Pause the video right now and write 1 sentence you can say to open your next presentation that makes your audience want to lean in. The second step is to show it. This is where you give your audience a reason to believe you. Show them through a story, a statistic, a case study, or an example that they can see themselves in. Maybe you piloted a new process, landed a major client, or cut costs without having to lay anybody off. If you're showing data, make it visual. Nobody wants to read a spreadsheet during your presentation. Give them a chart, a graph, or even a simple before and after statistic so they can see the proof. For that Q4 example, you could share the specific initiatives, process changes, or client wins that drove those results. And make sure it's supported by data and maybe a quick story from your team. And this is where balance matters. If you give too much data, you're going to drown them in numbers. If you give too much story, it might start to feel too fluffy. Think of it like showing receipts. You're saying, here's my point, and here's the proof that it works. If you're a sales leader, showing it may be saying, since launching our CRM, our team increased close rates by 15% in the past 90 days. Or if you're in HR, maybe you would say, after we rolled out our new onboarding program, we saw retention improve by 22% over the past year. All right, your next pause and practice assignment is to pause now and think of your data point. Write down 1 data point, 1 story, and 1 example you can use to support your main point. The final step is to seal it. This is where you answer the question, so what? Or now what? You need to tie your message directly to their world. Continuing with that Q4 example, your seal might be, these results position us to secure 2 new enterprise clients next quarter and reinvest $50,000 into product development, which will give us a competitive edge going into the new fiscal year. Sealing it makes your message stick and gives them a reason to act on it right now. A common mistake is ending your presentation with, "And that's all I have." No, ma'am. No, sir. Seal it so they know exactly why it matters right now and what you want them to do next. An action for you is to think about the last big idea, update, or presentation you shared at work. Your pause and practice prompt for Seal It is to pause the video and write one sentence that answers these two questions for your audience. Why should I care about this right now? And what do you want me to do next? If you can't answer that in one clear, direct sentence, you haven't sealed it yet. Rewrite it until the benefits are obvious, whether that's saving time, making more money, reducing risk, or making someone look good in front of their boss. Here's a bonus tip. Transitions are your glue. Having a structurally sound talk goes beyond just the order of your points. You have to be intentional about how you move between them, and the transitions are your glue. Without a smooth transition, your audience is going to feel like they're being jerked from one topic to the next without a clear connection to your previous points. So for example, after you present your Q4 revenue numbers, you could say, "Now that we've covered the financial results, let's look at the operational changes that made it possible." This keeps the flow logical and easy to follow, especially for senior leadership who expect you to get to the point thoroughly but quickly. So the structure is simple. Say it, show it, seal it. Lead with your headline, back it up with receipts, and make sure your audience knows exactly why what you are sharing matters to them right now. If you found this video helpful, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss my next video, How to End a Presentation That Drives Action. In that video, you'll learn how to close your talk in a way that motivates your audience to move on what you shared. Now that you've got the tools, it's time to put them to work. If you'd like one-on-one coaching on this topic, or if you represent an organization whose leaders could use a workshop on this topic, visit CoachSummerAlexander.com to schedule a call. Until next week, lead well and speak with confidence.